It's easy to forget how much the simplest moments can change the tone of an entire day. We rush from one task to another, barely noticing how tight our shoulders are or how shallow our breathing has become. And sometimes all it takes to interrupt that cycle is one small window of stillness, something gentle enough to slow your mind but engaging enough to pull you out of your own thoughts. That's why something as seemingly ordinary as a deep cleansing routine or watching a calm, steady blackhead extraction can become a kind of anchor. There's a rhythm to it that gives your brain permission to settle. No pressure, no urgency, just the quiet reassurance that you can pause for a moment without the world falling apart. When you look closely at what makes these moments so effective, it isn't the procedure itself, it's the pace. It's the intentional slowness. Our lives don't give us much of that. Everything is fast, fast communication, fast decisions, fast reactions, but here, nothing is rushed. Every movement has a purpose, every touch is controlled. That kind of calm, deliberate action signals your nervous system to shift gears. You start breathing deeper without even realizing it. The chatter in your head gets quieter. You stop thinking 2 steps ahead. All that matters is what's happening right now in this tiny, unhurried moment. And this is where the real magic lies. When you allow yourself to observe something slow and methodical, your body mirrors that pace. Your pulse steadies, your jaw unclenches, your shoulders soften. It's the same reason people find comfort in watching waves or listening to rain. It's repetitive, predictable, gentle. That kind of consistency is healing because it offers a kind of safety.
Gentler approach.
You're not bracing for anything. You're just existing in a pocket of calm, and that alone can unwind hours of stress you didn't even know you were carrying. There's something else that happens too when you watch something being cleared away,
without the
a pore
potential
being
for
cleaned,
irritation
buildup
or
being
stinging
released. You
that
can't help
stronger
feeling a
acids
bit
can
lighter
cause
yourself.
in delicate
It
areas.
feels like a tiny
For an
metaphor for
enzyme
everything
sift,
you're
once or
holding
twice a week,
inside.
mix
All
a pinch
that
of
pressure,
papaya
all
or
that
pineapple
gunk
enzyme
you've
powder
carried
into your
mentally throughout
cleanser.
the week
Massage it
suddenly
onto
has
the
a
skin
visual
for just
way of being
45
removed.
seconds.
It's
These
surprising how
natural
much
enzymes
relief can
act
come
like
from something so
microscopic
small, but
Pac-Men,
the brain loves
specifically
symbolism.
digesting the
It
protein
responds
cap
to it.
of dead cells
It
that can
recognizes
seal oil
the
and debris
idea of
inside the
release,
pore,
even when
allowing
it's
other
happening on
treatments
the
to work
surface
more
of the skin,
effectively.
and it gives you
Finally,
permission to let
use a
go of
timed
what's
clay
been building
magnet
up
weekly.
inside you.
A
That's
thin
why
layer
these
of
moments
kaolin
matter
or
more than
bentonite
people
clay,
realize.
boosted
They're not
with a
just
splash of
skincare,
antioxidant
techniques,
green
or
tea,
extraction steps.
acts like a
They're
magnet for
reminders.
excess oil.
They nudge you to
The
slow
key is
down. They
timing.
show you that
Apply for 8
relaxation
or 10
doesn't
minutes
have to
and
be
rinse when it's
elaborate
about
or
80% dry,
time-consuming. It
just
can be
before it
found in
cracks.
something as simple
This
as
draws
watching
out
a clean
impurities
sweep
without
across
stripping
the
your skin and causing
or feeling your own
dehydration.
breath deepen as
we
you
moved
take a
cycle
break
with
from the
SMART.
nonstop pace of your day.
Plus rotation.
These are
Drop
micro
8
moments
if you're
of
running
rest.
the SMART
And
protocol
when you
tonight.
allow them to happen
Comment your skin
consistently,
type
they
plus
change
toughest
the
zone, and I'll
texture
pin
of
a
your
custom
everyday
mini-map.
life.
Like,
Many
share,
people
and
wait
subscribe
until
for
they're
barrier-safe
exhausted,
advanced routines
overwhelmed,
that
or burned
actually
out
work.
before they let themselves pause. But you don't have to earn rest through suffering. You can integrate it in small, accessible ways,
Still seeing dots
like
a day
treating the
after
cleansing
deep cleaning?
process as a moment to
Blackheads aren't
reset
dirt.
rather
They're
than a chore to
oxidized
rush
oil.
through.
Today,
When you
I'll
do
show
that,
you an
you're giving
advanced
yourself
barrier-safe
far
routine
more
that
than
clears
clear
plugs
skin.
fast
You're
and
giving
keep-
yourself clarity, ease, a brief moment to come back to yourself before diving back into whatever the day demands. And the beauty of this is that it works whether you're the one doing the routine or simply observing it. The calm is contagious. The steadiness becomes yours. And each time you return to that simple ritual, your body remembers what it feels like to unwind. It becomes familiar. It becomes natural. It becomes a part of how you take care of yourself every single day. Sometimes the smallest moments create the biggest shift, and choosing them on purpose is how you carry peace into everything that comes next. There's something incredibly soothing about watching a slow, careful extraction take place. People think they enjoy it because of the result, but the truth is the calm arrives long before anything is fully clean. It starts with the rhythm, the gentle pressure, the steady motion, the unhurried pacing. When something is done with intention, with focus, and without any rush, your mind naturally follows that same tempo. It stops racing. It stops bouncing from thought to thought. It settles into the moment, almost like it's matching its heartbeat to the movement in front of it. That kind of rhythm creates a sense of safety, and safety always opens the door to relaxation. You notice how controlled each motion is. No sudden movements, no force, just steady guidance. And that steadiness speaks to you more than you realize. It reminds you how powerful it is to slow down, how grounding it can be to take things one step at a time. Even if you're just watching, your mind starts syncing with that flow. It's almost like someone quietly whispering, there's no need to rush. You can take your time. and you feel that message settling into your body as if it has been waiting to hear it all day. There's a kind of quiet confidence in a methodical routine like this. The hands know what they're doing, the movements are practiced, nothing is random, and when you observe something that's stable, something that practiced, you begin to feel the same stability within yourself. That calm certainty transfers to you without effort. It feels like someone is guiding your thoughts with the same gentle pressure, easing out the tension you've been holding onto without even realizing it. And the sound. People underestimate how much the sound matters. The soft taps, the light brushing, the subtle scrape of a tool against the skin, none of it is loud or harsh. It's delicate, almost soothing in a way that filters straight through the noise in your head. These are the kinds of sounds that reset your nervous system. They're soft enough to keep you present, but steady enough to drown out the million thoughts competing for your attention. You don't have to fight for focus, it just happens naturally. When you combine that sound with the visual rhythm, the slow sweep across the skin, the gentle lift, the careful clearing, it becomes a kind of moving meditation. You're watching something transform in real time, but the transformation isn't rushed. It unfolds gradually, and that gradual unfolding makes you feel like you're unwinding along with it. Every clean pass feels like a small exhale. Every release feels like you're letting go of something you've been gripping tightly for too long. Without forcing anything, the mind begins to soften around the edges. And this is why the experience feels so grounding. It's not dramatic, it's not intense, it doesn't rely on shock or excitement. It's peaceful, controlled, and predictable in the most comforting way. Predictability is underrated. In a world that changes constantly, where alerts go off every few minutes, where things can pile up faster than you can process them, seeing something unfold at a pace you can follow becomes almost therapeutic. It gives your brain a moment to recalibrate. It reminds you that not everything has to move at full speed.
Or a mild
Even more
lactic acid
interesting
1
is
to
how
3
this
times a
calm
week.
rhythm encourages
These have
you to
larger
pay
molecules
attention,
that work on the
not with
skin's
stress,
surface,
but with
refining
ease.
texture
You start
and
noticing
smoothing away
details,
dullness without the
angle of
potential for
tool,
irritation
the softness
or
of the
stinging
skin afterward,
that stronger
the subtle
acids
glow
can
and
cause in
tension
delicate
is released
areas.
from a clogged
For an
pore.
enzyme
That
assist,
attentiveness
once or twice a
pulls you
week,
deeper into
mix
the
a pinch of
moment,
papaya
keeping
or
your
pineapple
mind
enzyme
anchored
powder
instead of
into your
drifting to
cleanser.
the next worry.
Massage it
You
onto
don't
the
need to
skin
think
for just
ahead
45
because
seconds.
nothing about this
These
process
natural
asks you
enzymes
to.
act like
It invites
microscopic
you to stay
Pac-Man,
right here,
specifically
right
digesting
now,
the
in
protein
this
cap
little
of
bubble
dead
of quiet
cells
focus.
that can seal oil and
And
debris
when
inside
your
the pore,
mind
allowing
is
other
fully
treatments
present,
to work more effectively.
even for a few minutes,
Finally,
that presence
use a timed
changes
clay
how
magnet
you feel
weekly.
afterward.
A thin
You
layer
walk
of
away
kaolin
lighter,
or
your
bentonite
thoughts
clay,
feel clearer,
boosted
your
with a
breath
splash
feels
of
deeper.
antioxidant
That
green
slow
tea,
rhythm
acts like a
lingers
magnet
in your
for excess
body
oil.
long after
The key is
moment
timing.
ends, almost
Apply
like your
for 8
nervous
or 10
system
minutes
remembers
and
how to
rinse
move
when it's
at a
about
gentler
80%
pace
dry,
and decides it wants
just
to
before
stay
it
there a
cracks.
little longer.
This draws
It's
out
amazing
impurities
how
without
something
stripping
so
your
small
skin
and
and
simple
causing
can guide your
dehydration.
entire body
Fifth,
into
we move
stillness.
cycle with
But that's the
SMART.
beauty of it.
Plus
Calm
rotation.
doesn't always come
Drop
in
8
grand
if you're running the
gestures.
SMART
Sometimes it
protocol
arrives
tonight.
one slow,
Comment
steady
your skin
movement
type
at a
plus
time,
toughest zone
showing you
and I'll
there's a
pin a
different
custom
way to
mini
move
map.
through your day,
Like, share,
a way
and
that
subscribe
brings
for
peace
barrier-safe
instead of
advanced
pressure.
routines that
There's a
actually
moment
work.
during any deep cleansing routine when you see something finally clear out, and it feels like more than just a pore being
Still seeing
clean. It
dots
feels
a day
like
after
a
deep
breath you
cleaning?
didn't realize you've been
Blackheads
holding
aren't dirt.
finally being
They're
released.
oxidized oil.
And that's because
Today, I'll show you an
physical
advanced
buildup and
barrier-safe
emotional
routine that
buildup
clears plugs
often
fast
move in the
and
same
keep-
direction. When the skin is congested, it's usually a sign that something has been sitting there for too long, unnoticed or unaddressed. And the same thing happens inside us. We hold on to stress, old thoughts, small worries, and they start collecting in the background until one day we feel heavy without knowing why. So when you see that buildup being lifted away, something inside you responds to that release. It recognizes it, it mirrors it, it almost feels symbolic. And your mind grabs onto that symbolism as a quiet reminder that it might be time to let go of something too. What makes it powerful is the way it unfolds. It doesn't happen with force. It doesn't happen with urgency. It happens gently with patience and precision. You watch that slow clearing and it sends a message that things don't have to be pushed aggressively to change. Sometimes what you need is just a little pressure in the right direction, a little attention where it's needed, a little time to soften whatever's been stuck beneath the surface. When something is extracted carefully, the skin responds better. And when your stress is handled gently, your mind responds better too. The two are more connected than we like to admit. There's also a kind of honesty in the cleansing process. The skin doesn't pretend. It shows you exactly what's there. No judgment, no shame, just a clear, straightforward view of what needs to be cleaned. And seeing that makes you think about the things you hide under the surface, the thoughts you push aside, the emotions you tell yourself you'll deal with later, the little frustrations you pretend aren't bother you. The skin reminds you that ignoring buildup doesn't make it disappear, it just buries it. And buried things always find a way to come back up. Watching something being cleared gives you a little nudge to check in with yourself too. There's a reason people feel mentally lighter after a good cleansing session. It's not just the glow or the smoothness, it's the sense of renewal. It's the idea that you've cleared something out both physically and emotionally. Even if the emotional part happens unconsciously, it still happens.
Sensitive cheeks and jawline
Your
require
brain
a
uses
gentler
the visual
approach.
of clearing a pore
Here,
the same
we
way
use
it uses the idea of decluttering a room.
or a mild
Once
lactic acid
something
1 to 3
finally
times a
opens
week.
up, everything
These
feels
have
like it
larger
has more
molecules
space
that work
to
on the
breathe.
skin's
Your
surface,
thoughts stop
refining
crowding
texture
each other.
and smoothing away
Your
dullness
energy
without the
feels
potential
more
for
organized.
irritation
You feel
or
more
stinging
in control,
that
not
stronger
because you forced
acids can
anything,
cause
but
in
because you
delicate
allowed
areas.
something to move.
For an
And
enzyme
that's another
assist,
powerful
once or
lesson
twice a
tucked
week,
inside this
mix
process.
a pinch of papaya
Healing
or
doesn't
pineapple
always
enzyme
come
powder
from big,
into your
dramatic
cleanser.
moments.
Massage it
Sometimes
onto
it
the
comes
skin
from
for
the
just
smallest
45
releases,
seconds.
the ones
These
you
natural
barely
enzymes
notice
act
until
like
you feel the
microscopic
difference
Pac-Men,
afterward.
specifically
A pore
digesting the
clearing
protein
isn't
cap
a huge
of dead
event,
cells
but
that can
the
seal
feeling that
oil and
comes with
debris
it can be
inside the pore,
surprisingly profound.
allowing other
It
treatments to
reminds
work
you
more
that
effectively.
letting go doesn't have
Finally,
to be overwhelming.
use a timed clay
you can
magnet
release
weekly.
things little by
A
little,
thin
and
layer
every
of
bit of
kaolin or
release
bentonite
creates a
clay,
little more room
boosted
for
with a
clarity.
splash of
Even the act
antioxidant
of
green
watching a
tea
deep cleansing
acts like a
session
magnet for
teaches you how
excess
to
oil.
sit with discomfort
The key
without
is timing.
panicking. You
Apply
see the
for 8
pressure
to 10
applied,
minutes
you
and
see the
rinse when
skin
it's about
respond,
80%
and see
dry,
everything
just
settle
before it
again.
cracks.
It shows you that
This
you
draws
can
out
move through a
impurities
little
without
pressure
stripping
and
your
come
skin
out
and
better on
causing
the other
dehydration.
side. That's
Fifth,
an
we
emotional
move
truth
cycle
as
with
much as a
SMART.
physical one. We all go
Plus
through moments
rotation.
when we feel that
Drop
internal
8
pressure
if you're running
building,
the
and we
SMART
fear the
protocol
discomfort.
tonight. Comment your
But when
skin
you
type
watch
plus
something
toughest
small
zone and I'll
endure
pin a
that same
custom mini
pressure and
map.
emerge
Like,
clearer,
share, and subscribe
healthier,
for barrier-safe
and more open,
advanced routines
it
that
reminds
actually
you that
work.
discomfort isn't always a sign of trouble. Sometimes it's part of the process that leads to clarity.
Still seeing
And
dots
when
a day
the
after
cleansing
deep
is
cleaning?
complete, what's left
Blackheads
is
aren't
simplicity.
dirt. They're
Clean
oxidized
skin,
oil.
a calmer
Today,
mind,
I'll show you an
a sense
advanced
that something
barrier-safe
has shifted,
routine that clears
maybe not
plugs
dramatically,
fast
but
and keep
enough to feel it, enough to carry it into the rest of your day with a little more ease, enough to remind you that release is possible and clarity is always within reach when you know where to look. There's something incredibly comforting about how the senses respond during moments of deep, gentle care. Long before the skin looks clearer, before any extraction is finished, the body starts relaxing simply because of the environment created around the process. The softness of the sounds, the warmth of the touch, the slow glide of a tool or fingertip, none of it feels rushed, sharp, or overwhelming. It's subtle, but the nervous system pays attention to these cues long before the mind does. It recognizes safety, it recognizes consistency, and the moment it feels that, everything inside you starts to loosen. Think about how rare it is to experience something that doesn't demand anything from you. Most of the day, the world is loud. Your phone vibrates, notifications pop up, your mind jumps from one task to the next. Even when your body stops, your thoughts keep moving. But here, the body finally has a reason to slow down. The sounds are soft enough to quiet your mind. The movements are steady enough to settle your breathing. You don't have to analyze anything. You don't have to anticipate what's next. You can simply let yourself be guided by the gentle pace unfolding in front of you. It's almost impossible not to relax when every sensory detail is designed to soothe rather than stimulate. A light pressure on the skin sends a signal of care. A gentle sweep across the surface tells your body everything is under control. Even the subtle friction from the extraction tool carries a sense of structure and order that helps your mind settle into a calmer rhythm. You're not being startled or rushed, you're being unwound, slowly, purposefully, and that deliberate slowness becomes its own kind of therapy. What makes this experience so grounding is how physical it is. Relaxation often feels abstract. We say we want it, but we don't always know how to access it. But when the senses are involved, everything becomes tangible. You can hear the calm, you can feel the ease, you can watch the transformation happen right in front of you. And because all of your senses are responding at once, your mind doesn't have the space to drift towards stress or worry. It's anchored, present, soaking in every tiny detail without needing to work for it. There's also a powerful emotional comfort built into the gentleness. When touch is soft and deliberate, it communicates trust. It tells you that you're safe, that nothing harmful is coming, that this moment is meant to care for you, not ask anything from you. And for a lot of people, that feeling alone is enough to trigger deep relaxation. We spend so much time in environments where we're bracing for something, pressure, criticism, noise, urgency, but here the body finally gets to let its guard down. When the hands move gently, when the tools glide without force, the body learns it's okay to stop protecting itself for a moment. Even something as simple as the way the light falls on the skin or the quiet focus in the room adds to this sense of calm. There's no chaos in the movement, no confusion, no multitasking, just one action at a time, done with care and consistency. And that kind of focus is contagious. It encourages you to breathe deeper, to settle into the moment, to let the mind ease into stillness because it finally has room to rest. And then there's the pacing, the slow, predictable flow that keeps everything grounded. Nothing jumps out or feels unpredictable. Every motion follows a pattern that becomes almost hypnotic.
Sensitive cheeks
the
and
mind
jawline
loves
require a gentler
like
approach.
That. It relaxes
Here,
into them
we use
because there's no
PHAs,
need to prepare
LHAs,
for the unexpected.
or a mild
You know the
lactic
next
acid 1 to
movement
3
will be
times a
just
week.
as gentle
These have
as
larger
the last.
molecules that
And
work on
that
the skin's
anticipation
surface,
of comfort
refining
creates a
texture
deep
and
sense
smoothing
of
away
peace.
dullness without the
When
potential
all
for
of these sensory
irritation or
elements,
stinging
the sounds,
that stronger
the touch,
acids
the pace,
can cause
the
in
temperature,
delicate
the
areas.
visual flow
For an enzyme
come
assist,
together. They don't
once or
just
twice
help
a
you
week,
relax in the
mix
moment.
a pinch of
They
papaya
teach your
or
body what
pineapple enzyme
relaxation
powder
feels
into your
like. They create a
cleanser.
memory
Massage
your
it
nervous
onto the
system
skin for
can
just 45
return
seconds.
to. A kind of
These
blueprint
natural
for calm
enzymes
you
act
can
like
carry with you
microscopic
long after the
Pac-Men,
session is
specifically
over.
digesting
You're not
the
just
protein
soothed, you're
cast
reset.
of dead
You're
cells
reminded
that
of what
can
it
seal
feels
oil
like
and
to be
debris
grounded,
inside the
steady,
pore,
and cared for
allowing
in the
other
simplest,
treatments
most
to work more
effortless way.
effectively.
When the senses align
Finally,
with
use a
gentleness, the
timed
whole
clay
body
magnet
follows,
weekly.
and that's
A
how
thin
even
layer
a
of
small
kaolin
moment
or
can become a
bentonite clay,
powerful reset.
boosted with
There's
a
a real
splash of
shift that
antioxidant
happens
green tea,
when you stop
acts like a
treating
magnet for excess
relaxation
oil.
like an
The
occasional
key is
luxury
timing.
and start giving
Apply
it a
for 8
consistent
or
place
10
in your
minutes
everyday
and rinse
life.
when it's about
Most
80%
people wait
dry,
until they're
just
overwhelmed
before it
before they
cracks.
finally slow down.
This draws
and
out
by then,
impurities without
relaxation
stripping your
feels more
skin
like
and causing
recovery than
dehydration.
restoration. But when
Fifth,
you
we
build
move
small
cycle with
moments of
SMART.
calm into your routine,
Plus rotation.
moments as simple
Drop
and
8
steady
if you're
as
running
watching
the
or
SMART
performing a deep
protocol
cleansing
tonight.
ritual,
Comment your skin
you
type
start
plus
to
toughest zone
reshape the
and
way
I'll
your
pin a
mind
custom
and
mini
body
map.
move
Like, share,
through
and
the
subscribe
day.
for barrier-safe
It
advanced
becomes less
routines
about
that actually
escaping
work.
stress and more about preventing it from taking over in the first place. That's the beauty of turning these
Assess.
quiet cleansing
Still seeing
moments
dots a day
into a
after
daily
deep cleaning?
ritual. They're
Blackheads
small
aren't
enough to
dirt.
fit into
They're
even the
oxidized
busiest
oil.
schedule,
Today,
but
I'll show
powerful
you an
enough to
advanced
change the tone of
barrier-safe
your
routine
entire
that
day.
clears plugs
You don't need
fast and
candles
keeps
or a full spa setup. You don't need hours of free time. All you need is a few minutes of slowing down, breathing deeper, letting your nervous system reset while your eyes follow a calming, methodical process. When you repeat that rhythm every day, it becomes familiar, it becomes grounding, it becomes something your mind starts looking forward to before your body even registers the tension. What makes this so effective is the predictability. When your brain knows something soothing is coming, it prepares for it. And that anticipation alone begins to lower stress levels. Think about how comforting it is when you have something steady to rely on, something that doesn't demand effort, but still gives you a sense of release. A cleansing ritual offers that. You watch the slow clearing of a pore, the gentle sweep across the skin, the calm consistency in every movement, and without trying, you fall into that rhythm. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften, your body unwinds a little more each time, and when you make it a habit, your body begins to understand that this isn't just a random break, it's part of your day. It's a moment you've carved out for yourself, not because you're exhausted, but because you value the feeling of being grounded before you reach your limit. That mindset shift is huge. Instead of using relaxation as a last resort, you start using it as a tool, a strategy, a way to stay balanced instead of constantly trying to regain your balance. What's fascinating is how these small rituals influence everything else. When you regularly experience calm, your reactions change. You don't snap as quickly, you don't spiral into stress as easily, your mind becomes more patient, more steady, more focused, and that's not because you forced yourself to be calmer, it's because you trained your nervous system through repetition. Same way a muscle strengthens from daily movement, your sense of peace strengthens from daily stillness. These moments also help you build resilience. When your body knows how to return to calm, it
Sensitive
recovers
cheeks
from
and
stress
jawline require
faster.
a gentler
It doesn't hold
approach.
tension as long.
Here,
It
we
doesn't
use
stay stuck in that anxious,
LHAs,
high alert
or a
state
mild
that
lactic
so many
acid
people
1 to
live
3
in every
times a
day
week.
without realizing
These have
it.
larger
A simple
molecules that work
cleansing
on the skin
ritual
surface,
teaches your system
refining
how to shift
texture
gears,
and smoothing
how to
away
leave fight or
dullness without
flight
the
and move
potential
into
for
rest and
irritation or
reset.
stinging
And the more
that stronger
often you
acids can
practice
cause
that,
in delicate
the easier
areas.
it becomes,
For an
even
enzyme
outside of
assist,
those relaxing
once or twice a
moments.
week,
Another
mix a pinch of
quiet benefit
papaya
is
or
that
pineapple
daily
enzyme
rituals
powder into your
remind
cleanser.
you that
Massage
taking
it
care of
onto the
yourself
skin for just
doesn't
45
have to
seconds.
be complicated.
These natural
it doesn't have to be
enzymes act
dramatic.
like microscopic
It doesn't have to
Pac-Man,
wait for the
specifically
perfect timing.
digesting the
Sometimes
protein
it's as simple
cap
as
of
giving
dead
your
cells
mind a
that
short
can
break
seal
from
oil
everything
and debris
demanding your
inside the
attention
pore,
and letting it
allowing
focus on
other
something
treatments to work
steady,
more effectively.
soothing, and controlled.
Finally,
and
use
because
a timed
it's so
clay
simple,
magnet
it
weekly.
becomes sustainable.
A thin layer
you
of
can do it
kaolin
anywhere,
or bentonite
anytime,
clay,
without
boosted
needing
with
a
a splash
full
of
reset.
antioxidant green
Over
tea,
time,
acts
these
like a
little
magnet for
moments
excess
add up.
oil.
They weave calm
The
into
key
the
is
fabric
timing.
of your routine.
Apply
they
for
help you
8 to 10
approach
minutes and
your
rinse when it's
day
about
with more
80%
clarity,
dry,
more patience,
just
and
before
more
it
presence.
cracks.
You're not just
This draws
reacting
out
to life.
impurities
You're
without
guiding
stripping your
yourself
skin
through
and
it
causing
with intention.
dehydration.
And
Fifth,
that
we move
intention
cycle with
becomes the difference
SMART.
between feeling
Plus
overwhelmed and
rotation.
feeling grounded.
Drop 8
When you
if you're
choose
running the
calm in
SMART
small ways
protocol
every day,
tonight.
you
Comment
build
your
a
skin
life
type
that
plus
supports you
toughest zone
instead
and
of
I'll pin a
drains you.
custom mini map.
There's a
Like,
moment when
share,
you finally
and subscribe
realize
for
that
barrier safe
relaxation
advanced
isn't
routines
something
that
that just
actually work.
happens to you. It's something you choose, something you create. For a lot of people, the idea of relaxing feels passive, almost like you're waiting
Still
for the
seeing
right
dots a
mood,
day
the
after
right
deep
day,
cleaning?
or the right amount of free
Blackheads
time
aren't
to
dirt.
magically appear
They're
so you can
oxidized
finally
oil.
unwind.
Today, I'll
But
show you an
calm
advanced
doesn't work
barrier-safe
that way.
routine that clears
Stress
plugs
doesn't
fast
wait for the
and keep
perfect moment, and neither should the care you give yourself. The truth is, relaxation is an intentional act, even when it comes from something as simple and soothing as a deep cleansing ritual. It's a decision to pause, a decision to pay attention, a decision to treat the body and mind with the kind of gentleness we often reserve for last. When you watch a methodical blackhead extraction or go through the steps yourself, it's easy to think of it as just skincare. But it's so much more than that. It's a practice in focus, in slowing down, in treating the body with patience. And that patience turns into presence because you can't rush through the process. You can't multitask your way through it. You have to be there in the moment, noticing the texture of the skin, the pressure of the tool, the quiet breath you take before moving on to the next area. That awareness becomes its own kind of meditation, something that gently returns your attention to yourself after a day of distractions pulling you in every direction. And in those moments, you learn something important. Caring for yourself isn't a distraction from life. It's part of how you handle life. When you take intentional time to reset, even in the smallest ways, you're not avoiding stress. You're preparing yourself to meet it with more clarity and less tension. Deep cleansing isn't just clearing pores, it's clearing space in your mind. It empties out noise, softens the edges of whatever has been weighing on you, and gives you a way to reconnect with your own body rather than just moving through the day on autopilot. The act of cleansing itself teaches a quiet lesson. Small efforts matter. One pour at a time, one sweep at a time, one breath at a time. You don't transform everything all at once. You bring calm into your life the same way you bring clarity to the skin, gently, consistently, and with intention. You learn that small steps done with care add up to something meaningful. And when you apply that same calm approach to the rest of your life, everything feels a little less overwhelming. There's also something empowering about choosing relaxation instead of waiting for it. When you treat these cleansing moments as a ritual you intentionally return to, you reclaim a little bit of control in a world that constantly pulls your attention away from yourself. You show your mind and body that you're willing to make space for them. You create a habit of stillness that stays with you throughout the day, at work, at home, in stressful moments, or when the world feels a little louder than usual. That habit becomes a kind of anchor, reminding you that you can choose calm even when things around you are chaotic. And it doesn't matter whether the moment is long or short. Even a few minutes spent watching a slow, careful extraction or doing a simple cleansing routine can change the tone of your entire day. Those minutes send the same message every time. You deserve to feel grounded. You deserve to feel cared for. You deserve to feel clear inside and out. When you repeat that message often enough, your body believes it. Your mind believes it. And the way you show up in your life changes because of it. Relaxation becomes less of an escape and more of a foundation. It becomes something you carry with you, something you return to naturally, something your body expects and responds to. And once it becomes becomes part of you, everything else becomes easier. Your focus, your patience, your ability to let go of what doesn't serve you. You start to live with more intention and less reaction. When you choose moments of calm on purpose, even the smallest rituals become powerful tools for restoring your balance every single day.